Before the gavel even strikes, two families are already fractured, a mother, a wife, and a man whose temper turned homes into crime scenes. What you're about to hear isn't just another court plea, it's a raw look at how justice tries to make sense of human chaos. Christopher Wright walks into court facing 2 felonies, carrying a concealed weapon and possession of a taser, but that's not the twist. The state is ready to wipe those clean. If he admits guilt to not 1, but 2 domestic violence charges, one against his mother, the other against his wife. It's a deal that raises eyebrows and questions, is this mercy or management? In this courtroom, it's not just the law on trial, it's accountability, addiction, and the thin line between second chances and repeated mistakes.
Good morning, sir. Are you Christopher Wright?
Yes, I am, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Judge Patterson's been dealing with this. I'm Judge Middleton. I'm here with your lawyer, Mr. John Bush, and Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Joshua Robert. You got 2 cases. One is set for today. No, they're both set for today. One is file 251777FY. That alleges carrying concealed weapon, possession of a taser, and domestic violence. The first 2 are felonies. Carrying a concealed weapon is punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Prosecutor Robert has offered to dismiss both of those charges for a plea to domestic violence, and that would be on your spouse, Stine.
2 felonies gone with a single plea. That's how much weight a deal can carry in this courtroom. It sounds like a break, but legally, it's calculated. Prosecutors trade heavier charges for guaranteed convictions all the time. But beneath the paperwork lies something human, an effort to protect victims from reliving trauma in open court. Still, it leaves us wondering, does justice bend too far when the word guilty comes at such a discount? Or is this the system's way of saying, we'll take progress over perfection?
Kårgåstad. I think that's a Swedish name.
It's Norwegian.
Norwegian. The other case is from a year ago, August 30th. That alleges domestic violence on your mother. And that is file number 241606, and your mother is Kathleen Corzine. So the plea offer is to dismiss the felony charges, plead to 1 count of domestic violence from August 30th of 2024. Domestic violence is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. And 1 count of domestic violence from September 5th of 2025. So it'd be 2 misdemeanor domestic violence. The felony cases would be dismissed. Mr. Robert, is that your understanding?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Bush?
That is also my understanding. Yeah.
Mr. Wright, are you going to plead to 2 misdemeanor counts of domestic violence?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
This next part might sound procedural, but it's one of the most critical moments in any courtroom. When the judge reads a defendant their rights, he's not just going through the motions, he's building an invisible shield around the case. If these rights aren't clearly explained, any conviction can crumble on appeal. Every "yes, sir, we hear" isn't politeness, it's consent, acknowledgement, and record protection. In the language of justice, precision matters more than emotion.
All right, let's talk about that for a minute. If you plead guilty to these charges, you're going to be giving up your right to have a trial. You'd have a right to have a trial in both cases or either case. You settled one and wanted to try the other one. If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Bush has been appointed to represent you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wish. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent unless the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. On 606. All right, anybody threaten you to get you to plead to these charges?
No, sir.
Promise you anything?
No, sir.
Well, let's talk about the first one. And that case is alleged that on August 30th of 2024, which would have been last summer, you made an assault upon your mother, Kathleen Corazzini.
Then, things get heavy. The judge revisits the first case, an assault on Wright's own mother. You can feel the air tighten as he admits, in halting words, that yes, it happened. The courtroom doesn't react, but the silence says enough. Domestic violence against a parent isn't just a crime, it's a collapse of the most basic bond. And when he says, allegedly, yes, it's a window into denial, a man caught between guilt and justification.
In Three Rivers. This would have been, I think, at the house on Oklahoma Drive. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you get upset with your mother that day?
Yes, sir.
And did you grab her by the arms and push her?
Allegedly, yes.
All right, at some point, grabbed her by the throat. All right.
I don't know if that's a factual basis. He said allegedly, yes.
Oh, all right, yeah, all right. Let's find out. Did you, says here, you grabbed her by the arms, grabbed her by the throat, pushed her and scared her while you were yelling at her. Did that happen?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's a factual basis. Let's talk about the other case. This one's a little more recent in time.
Just as the first case sinks in, another wave hits. Now it's about his wife. The same house, the same anger, the same pattern, only this time, love and violence live under one roof. He grabbed her face, refused a divorce, and lost control again. It's chilling how ordinary his, yes, sir, sounds. No emotion, no excuse, just resignation. Behind those words lies the reality judges see daily, the repeat cycle of rage, regret, and relapse.
Again, this is at the Oklahoma Drive address,
Yes, sir.
and you're married to your spouse, who is Stine. Is it Stine or Stein?
It's Stina Krogstad.
All right, that's your wife.
Yes, sir.
And did you get upset with her
Yes, sir.
and grabbed her by the face?
Yes, sir.
And she wanted a divorce and you didn't.
Correct.
Is that true? All right.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna need more information here.
Judge, I would ask for a PSI in this one. He has a out-of-state criminal history that's hard to decipher. Would be helpful to get all that information from one of the
All right.
probation agents.
Then comes a twist, hidden in plain sight meth. A pipe found during the investigation changes everything. Addiction rewrites the narrative. It's not just about violence now, it's about chemistry, compulsion, and chaos. The prosecutor's mention of a PSI, a pre-sentence investigation, shows how seriously the system treats this layer. It's not punishment yet, it's diagnosis. They're trying to figure out who Christopher Wright really is. A violent offender, a man fighting addiction, or both.
I did a PPO in this case, so I have some familiarity with it. They were quite frightened. There was a meth pipe in here, so I think meth was underlying this. You seem good this morning, clear-headed, smart. I think you've had some clean time, thanks to Judge Pattison, which is a good thing. All right, I'm gonna ask for a PSI, which is called a pre-sentence investigation. It's gonna take a little bit to do that. Are you on probation or parole anywhere?
No, sir.
What kind of work did you do?
I was a handyman for a while. I've been on and off the streets, like you said. I've had an addiction problem that I'm trying to address now.
All right, well, sometimes going to jail is where you started.
I agree,
Do
sir.
you and she have children together?
Yes, we have 3 little ones.
For a moment, the courtroom softens. Wright talks about his children, about wanting to reconcile, about being in the dark, but finally sober. It's rare honesty, and the judge meets it halfway. His tone shifts from authority to almost fatherly concern. But make no mistake, this isn't sympathy, it's structure. Sobriety, as the judge hints, isn't the end of a sentence, it's the beginning of accountability. The system may sound cold, but sometimes, order is the only mercy left.
Well, at some point I understood she was talking about going back to Norway. Is that in the mix?
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been able to talk to either. I'm in the dark with everything, so.
All right.
I hope not. I hope to reconcile all this and get the help I need. This is the first time
Oh.
I've actually addressed it in my life, so.
All right. Well, we're off to a forced sobriety, which is a place to start. This is gonna take me a while. So let's go to that October 20th date, John. At 10:30. It's gonna take me about a month to get this pre-sentence investigation report done. Judge Pattison canceled your bond because he was concerned about public safety issues. This will be just a way to get you some additional clean time and keep everybody safe. The worst that could happen here is you could get 93 days followed by 93 days. That's not probably likely to happen. But I need more information. I'm gonna set for sentence for 10/20/25 at 10:30.
Do I have a
All
moment?
right, Mr. Wright, are you doing any classes or anything at the jail?
Yeah, I just did Indevo for domestic violence. I just got a certificate. I guess Pivotal has to print them out, so I'm waiting to hear from her.
Very good. You take whatever they got and see you on the 20th. All right, that's,
Thank you.
all right. Warrant, $10,000 cash or surety bond, 48-hour hold. Good afternoon, or good morning, sir. Are you Ricky Wendell Murphy?
Yes, sir.
All right, Laura, I'd still like a bind over waiver sheet on Mr. Murphy. This is Judge Middleton. I don't think we met before. You're from Edwardsburg?
Yes, I am.
Well, you got charged with operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated as a third offense.
Correct.
Let's take a look at that. Also with reckless driving and driving suspended.
Yeah, no, I wasn't suspended.
All right, well, we'll sort, that's a misdemeanor that's just sort of on there.
Yeah, for sure.
These things allegedly occurred here in St. Joseph County on August 31st.
Correct.
Well, let me find it.
New case, new face, same patterns. Ricky Murphy stands before the same judge, but his demons come in liquid form, a third DUI and a blood alcohol level that could stop a heart. 212, that's nearly triple the legal limit. The courtroom doesn't gasp, they've seen worse, but the judge's tone sharpens. Reckless driving, wrong way lanes, it's not just a mistake anymore, it's a public threat. Murphy says little, but his silence speaks volumes. This isn't defiance, it's exhaustion.
It's alleged that on August 31st in the city of Three Rivers, you did operate a vehicle upon Millard Street with a high blood alcohol level over 0.17 and as a third or subsequent offense. Under Michigan law, that is a felony. Looks like you got several convictions in Indiana. That is a felony punishable by up to $5,000 and up to 5 years in prison. Carries 6 points on your driver's license and requires that your license be suspended. Reckless driving is a allegation that you were driving on 131 southbound in the northbound lanes. We sure have had a lot of that lately. And that's a 93-day misdemeanor. And you're also charged with driving suspended. You're entitled to have a preliminary examination in that matter. You're also entitled to waive it, have the matter bound over to the circuit court for further proceedings in that court. Mr. Bush indicated that at this point you wish to waive the preliminary examination, have the matter bound over to circuit court and deal with it up there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Murphy, your blood alcohol level, I received it this morning, and you were tested at the State Police Crime Lab of 0.212. So that's consistent with the police report. So it's my recommendation that we execute the waiver and move the case forward.
Yes.
All right, let me read that to you. I, Ricky Wendell Murphy, understand I have a right to employ an attorney. I may request a court-appointed attorney if I'm financially unable to employ one.
The judge reads a waiver, one sheet of paper, a few signatures, and Murphy's case jumps to the next court. But this tiny act is massive. By waiving his preliminary hearing, Murphy gives up the chance to test the evidence early. Why do it? Because he already knows the outcome. When the blood test says 212, you don't argue, you negotiate. And for the court, it's one more life moving up the chain of consequence.
I voluntarily waive my right to a preliminary examination and understand that I will be bound over to the circuit court on the charges in the complaint and warrant. Is that what you wish to do?
Yes.
All right, I'll put defendant waives on the record. I lost my bailiff. John, let me give you that and ask if you and Josh could please execute that. All right, Mr. Murphy, the matter will be bound over to the circuit court for a status conference, hopefully sooner rather than later, and see whether it can be resolved. Are you on probation or parole anywhere?
No, sir.
We'll probably be setting this a plea as soon as
All right,
possible.
well, it may be something we could consider for sobriety court. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, good luck, sir. I may be seeing you further.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy.
Okay. Oops, sorry.
Good afternoon, sir, or morning. It feels like afternoon. Are you Willard Pelfrey?
Yes, I am, sir.
Then comes Willard Pelfrey and a story the judge has heard 100 times. Possession of meth, reduced to use. A smaller charge, but the same pain underneath. Pelfrey tries to soften it, says he used it once, didn't even like it, was planning to throw it away. But denial has a tone, and the judge hears it instantly. I don't believe you, he says blunt, not cruel. Because honesty, even painful honesty, is the only thing that can crack addiction's hold.
This is Judge Middleton. I'm here at the court. Your lawyer, Mr. Truckee, Ross Truckee, is here with me. Also, Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Joshua Robert. In this case, you're charged with possession of methamphetamine. Let's actually look at the complaint. I can find it. It's alleged that on September 9th in the city of Sturgis, you did possess methamphetamine. That is a felony. It's punishable by up to 15 years and up to 10 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $15,000. Do you understand?
Yes.
The prosecutors agreed to dismiss that charge for a plea to use of methamphetamine. That's a misdemeanor. To a year in jail and a fine of up to $2,000. You understand?
Yes.
Are you going to plead to that misdemeanor charge?
Yes, I plead guilty.
All right. Anybody threaten you to get you to do that?
No, sir.
Or promise you anything?
Nope.
All right. Do you understand that by pleading to that charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or a jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Truckee is here with you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. And you have the right to be presumed innocent unless the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about this. Did anybody threaten you to get you to plead to this?
No, sir.
Or promise you anything?
Nope. No, sir.
Now, I know a little bit about this because I arraigned you on the trespass ticket that was out there. But you were walking down the railroad tracks on September 9th, and you had your pack and stuff with you. And they found a small amount of methamphetamine in your possession, which came back as positive for meth. Is that true?
That's true.
And had you used some?
I did prior, maybe a week before that, because I just knew it all this, and it really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So I thought I was just going to toss it out, but I ended up putting it back in my pocket for some reason. I don't understand why.
All right, well, that's enough for the plea, but I don't believe you. I think that you're struggling with methamphetamine and goes hand in hand with your homelessness. But what you told me is enough to accept the plea. You could have just owned it. You've been in jail for 14 days. Where are you gonna go if you get out?
Probably to go to where I was before, Rick's front porch, and get my stuff. Go to Elwood, apply for a job, and then come back to go and do the program at Keystone here in Centerville. Hopefully get a place here in Centerville.
All right.
This is the human cost part where justice meets homelessness. Pelfrey talks about sleeping on porches, losing his belongings, having no one left to call family. The judge doesn't interrupt. Because at this point, punishment feels secondary to survival. Jail becomes what it was never meant to be: a pause button, a place to stay warm, to stay clean, to just exist. It's harsh truth. Sometimes, the safest place for an addict is behind bars.
Mr. Truckee, anything you'd like me to know?
I've encouraged Mr. Pelfrey to use Keystone, see if that can help get him off the streets. He's not gonna be able to get clean if he's living outside.
Yes, and it's gonna get cold. Mr. O'Bear, anything to add?
No.
I'm gonna order 30 days, credit 14. No fine, no attorney fee. Minimum fine of $125 for 2 additional days. You got about 2 weeks of additional clean time, Mr. Pelfrey. And maybe there'll also be some time to work with Pivotal on a placement, rather than just to have you standing out on the front steps today with nowhere to go. Do you know what they did with your pack and all your stuff?
Actually, a young lady gave that to me that day to keep for myself, and I really don't know where everything's at. Everything could be gone, because a lot of people goes up on his porch and does whatever they like to do. And I'm pretty sure about everything I have, it's gone.
So basically you got the shirt on your back.
Yes.
Do you have any family around here?
Well, I got family, but they're all they're like on the other side of the tracks. They don't have nothing to do with my side of the family either. My mom, dad, sisters, aunts.
Yeah, there's a lot of Pelfreys around Sturgis area.
Yeah, but they're not the type of the Pelfreys that would help me do anything. I don't even know half of them. I just met Tim Pelfrey that's in here. I just met him just a year and a half ago. And that's
all right, well, I'm going to give you some clean time. All right, Mr. Pelfrey, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
You're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
This is Judge Middleton. I'm here with your lawyer, Mr. Truckee, Mr. Ross Truckee. Also present is Joshua Robert from the prosecutor, chief assistant. We've had a very long morning. We're coming to the end of it. You have 2 cases pending. File 251778 alleges that on June 20th, you did possess methamphetamine. That is a It's punishable by up to 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $15,000. I understand that waived preliminary examination in that matter, and the matter is going to be bound over to the circuit court. Then in file 251867, you again got charged with possession of methamphetamine.
Last case, and it's not an easy one. Miss Kea, charged twice with meth possession, pleads for mercy. She has tumors, medical needs, and a long list of rehab rejections. Her lawyer asks for a bond release, but the judge isn't moved. He's heard every variation of this plea. Compassion is one thing, repeated danger is another. Kega's situation is tragic, but justice can't hinge on sympathy alone. The judge's refusal isn't cruelty, it's consistency, and in law, that's sometimes the only fairness left.
And that is the same charge, up to 10 years and a fine of up to $15,000. I think this is, let me look at it, maybe habitual, because you seem like you had one years ago. Yeah, you're charged as a second offense, which makes it a drug double, punishable by up to 20 years imprisonment. The bonds were not that high. I didn't set the bonds, but the bonds were set at $1,000 cash or surety in each file. You got arrested on each case on 9/12, so I don't think you were on bond on one when you did the other one, but you got arrested both. He wants me to address the issue of bond. It isn't very high for what we're looking at. Mr. Truckee, what would you like me to know?
Ms. Krager has some medical concerns. She's got a tumor on her knee. She reports. She's been consulted with Dr.
Aurora.
Dr. Aurora, I believe, in Three Rivers.
Yeah, Dr. Aurora.
And she'd like to be able to pursue that treatment going forward. So we'd ask for a PR bond, and we're open to a tether through pretrial services.
Ms. Krager, where do you live?
I live at 69204 Elaine Drive. I live with an elderly veteran named Vern.
What town is that in?
So it's in Sturgis.
Who's the other lady?
I'm sorry,
Who's the other lady?
other lady.
You said you live with another lady at that house?
With an elderly veteran named Vern Southwell.
Vern Salvo?
Yeah, he's an amputee veteran. I take care of him. He's got one. Yeah.
All right. You got a previous methamphetamine conviction that you haven't dealt with. You have a felony, and then you have one with us that you haven't paid. You got charged with possession of methamphetamine in June and then again in August or in September. You list a Mintdale Road address. Who lives there?
That's my ex. I no longer live there. Well, it's my family. It's like, we're like family, but like, yeah, I don't live there anymore.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you're 23 meth. You got 90 days in jail. And some fines and shit. This bond is quite low for as distressed as you are. Yes? Go ahead.
I said, I've also applied to 7 different rehabilitation clinics throughout this year, and they've all like rejected me because of this tumor in my leg and in my shoulder. I've applied to the TLC House, the Witt House, the Manda House, the Hope House, Gilmore Center, the TLC House in Angola, the Witt House in Angola.
All right, well, I those are worthy enterprises, but right now you're right where you need to be. I'm a little concerned about this man who you allegedly take care of. You're with Mr. Hewitt, and he's got meth in his possession. We're talking June, we're talking September, and you haven't conquered it. The bonds are quite low for what it is. So your motion for a PR bond is denied. You can bring it up again in the circuit court. But right now, the bond remains as set with all the conditions that were on the bond if you do post them. So,
Okay.
all right, good luck.
Thank you.
I'm not inclined to do a PR bond in those circumstances. So good luck, man.
4 defendants, 1 judge, and a single theme, accountability. In one courtroom, we saw every layer of the human condition: anger, addiction, regret, and hope. Christopher Wright's story showed that redemption starts with admission. Ricky Murphy reminded us that one reckless night can rewrite a life. Willard Pelfrey embodied how poverty and addiction blur the lines between crime and survival. And Miss Kager proved that sympathy doesn't erase responsibility. Through it all, Judge Middleton held the same tone: steady, patient, but unyielding. That's what justice looks like when it's stripped of spectacle and grounded in reality. If you found this breakdown as gripping as we did, make sure to like this video, share it, and subscribe for more real-life courtroom moments where law meets humanity. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories like this to light.